Hey guys! Welcome back to Let's Play Xenogears! Last time we went through a very long and touching scene between Faye and Ellie, and then another pretty cool scene with Ellie and Margie. And at this point, Ellie is no longer a playable character, and we can't go and check out her gear or anything like that. So, what you need to do is before you fight Hammer, when you still have control of your party, you need to unequip her of anything you want to keep. And I basically stripped her of everything. The only thing she had left equipping was her weapons, because I only had one of each of them for her. And so, yeah, you can't unequip weapons in this game, unfortunately. You can only change them for other ones. So anyway, that's all she had at that point. So for a while, we can't use her. Now, to continue on with what we were kind of starting with this scene last time, we are, of course, taking to the floating continent of Manon because we don't want them to gain this knowledge of God or whatever is supposed to be here. On the Eldridge. Now, the central hull of a colossal spacecraft, something blah blah blah. Yeah, the name Eldridge is pretty cool. Good choice by the game creators. Now, they're referring to the spacecraft that we saw at the very beginning of the game. If you remember the opening cinematic, there's a crash of a spaceship. It was being attacked by something, we don't know what. That was this. The resting place of God is a spaceship. Yeah. Now, Eldridge is important because the Eldridge refers to what is known as the Philadelphia experiment. Now, this was an experiment into trying to find radar invisibility in, I think, probably around World War I, World War II, something like that. I don't remember dates well. But yeah, the idea is they add some electromagnetic stuff, and they tried, I think, about 3 times to make this thing invisible, and a couple of times they had no one on them, and the ship literally disappeared into mist or fog or whatever, and then wasn't there. It was, I guess it was in the Philadelphia harbor, hence the name Philadelphia Experiment. But yeah, one time they actually had people on there, and some of them came back after, you know, it went and disappeared and then came back. Some of them came back, others didn't. And at the same time, there were reports from, I think it was Virginia, of people seeing the boat there. So some people believe they somehow managed to create teleportation. I have no idea. I've probably only heard about this a couple of times, and whether it seems interesting or not, it's definitely interesting. But whether it seems true or not, I don't know. Anyway, that's kind of the idea here. That's the reference that they were trying to make. And as you see from the chair there, yeah, if you go back and you watch that opening cinematic, you will see a very similar layout. The other thing is you don't have to go back and watch that if you don't want to. I will be replaying it later once we get to a point where we can know more about it. Yeah, basically, it'll probably be right near the end of the game. And once we find out all the information, once we find that out, then I'll be able to talk about it in great amounts of detail without worrying about breaking, you know, spoilers and all that stuff. Anyway, it was about 10,000 years ago, crashed to the planet, so basically we have our timeline. You know, the first event we've ever seen happened 10,000 years ago. And the aliens that looked a lot like humans came to Earth and crash landed. Yeah, so could it possibly have been that our ancestors were the passengers of this ship? Yeah, and here we have Razel's tree. Now, we don't know much about Razel, or Razal, or however you pronounce that at this point, and I will just give a basic introduction, but we learn more about that later. So the idea, we haven't heard about that. So yeah, the illusion, the reference, I can't say what it is because they don't say much about it at this point, is it's reference to an angel. It's not the exact name of an angel, but it's like part of the name of an angel who was known as the Secret of God or the Angel of Supreme Mysteries. And this angel, I guess, wrote a book that was also based off the name Razel, or however you pronounce that. And that book was supposed to be the book that contained all earthly and heavenly knowledge. Sometimes this angel was also known as the head of the cherubim, or I'm assuming that's a caste or a caste, or however you pronounce that word, of angels. So there you go. Now we can open the menu. Now, here's where we have problems. I'm gonna go set some stuff up and then we'll talk about these problems. Okay, we're back. Now, new party. This one doesn't really matter all that much for the upcoming enemy, but it will for the one beyond that. So frame HP 50s, 2 magnetic coats on everyone. Oh, and you have the Sonic G-Whip. That'll be important later. As far as equipment goes, I'm really set up for the subsequent fight. You do want the trader card basically on Faye for the rest of the game at this point. As soon as you get this, it is so much worthwhile. A couple of evasion rings. You have an ether doubler, which I won't be making use of in this fight. And we also have Holy Pendant on you. Again, not really important for this fight. This fight sucks. Not because it's hard, because it sucks. Let's find out. Definitely save, in that you have an option there. When you go to your menu, you can save. Do save. If you don't save, you will regret it. I think that's your first time you will have been able to save since your fight against Hammer. That's another one that you want to make sure you win, so you want to save after that. An alien form, partially rotted and petrified, a giant grotesque being, gave off an inexplicable air of intimidation. Perhaps it was more than a gut reaction. I was confused on how I was supposed to say that. Anyway, fear of the absolute that came from the very depths of our inherited instincts. Now, here we have the most annoying fight in the entire game. And it shouldn't be. The reason why it shouldn't be is because it shouldn't be hard. Start off the fight, charge. Deus, or Deus, however you want to pronounce that, uses an attack that halves everyone's HP, including his own. He starts off with 40,000 HP and halves it to 20,000. However, he only has 3 moves. The first of which will, let's just go special options and fix that for him right now. But, yeah, if, go. But yeah, he has 3 attacks. One of them halves everyone's HP. The second one does about 3,000 to a single target, and he also can, oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so that's that one, about 3,000. And other than that, he has a counter. Every time you hit him, he heals himself for 16,000 HP, meaning you can't deal enough damage to defeat him normally. You actually have to just charge your way through, and yeah. Now, hopefully he stops attacking me, because that would make my life a lot easier. And this is why this fight is so irritating. It glitches up all the time. Like, I did this for like half an hour last night trying to prep for this fight, and it froze every single time and I could not make it work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reload, because you can make a save file, so I made a save file. I'm going to reload that and try again. Basically, that's the way this fight works, is every time he tries to use this attack, it has a chance at freezing. And this is something that was a problem from the PS2 onward. Now, I am emulating this on a PS1 emulator, but for whatever reason, it does not work very well here. So you kind of have to get lucky more than anything else. There's not really anything else you can do. I'm going to try and say maybe make save states at different points in the fight and change my tactics and see if that will allow me through it if I can't do this normally. But I may not talk for the parts of this fight that I actually show because I'm expecting it to freeze. I might also be fast forwarding through them. I don't know. So anyway, we will definitely see the final part of this fight. Also, make sure that -R thing in the emulator is set up before this one, because I think I had that happen in my test run before when I was starting this, that I finally beat him, it didn't freeze, and then it froze in the cutscene after, and I was just like so wanting to rage. Anyway, I will see you in a moment, hopefully not too long. Okay, this is good. He just halved himself. He now has 5,000 HP total left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge. And I'm going to use System ID. And hopefully it doesn't freeze while I get to phase turn. Because if I can get to phase turn, I'll probably win. And I don't have enough out of fuel. And we finally have access. I have 130 fuel, so I can actually do this. We finally have access to Kishin, the final level. So let's show that off and see if I can end this guy right now. So basically, what? Oh yeah, he counters with an attack. I forgot about that. Whew. I made it. And we have the trader card on, which means get some levels. Was he supposed to drop something? One sec. Okay, it's all good. We weren't supposed to get it here. It was supposed to be in the next sequence. Whew. Anyway. Apparently that's supposed to be some ultimate god thing. Yeah, basically it's self-disintegrated. So you basically have to wait for it to use its having HP thing 3 times, dropping it to killable levels, because you have to kill it in one shot, because if you hit it with anything and it survives, it's going to heal 16,000 HP and you're basically screwed. So bring healing items, or not healing items, but frame restores for that fight. That will be very helpful. This is the scene, the FMV that would have froze on me the first time I did my test run if I didn't have -R on. None of them have frozen since I put that on, so that's good. Okay. Wow. 2 gently glowing objects. Razal's tree. Yeah, so they kind of allude to what I said before about it being, the source of all wisdom. They don't explain exactly what it is, though. Game. Game. Don't tell me you froze on me. Doesn't look like it. Oh. Game. There we go. Whew. Scary. Yeah, basically, Razal is a supercomputer. Now I can talk about the other part of the notes that I wrote down for that. Yeah, it's basically a supercomputer, and in this case it's located on the Eldridge, the ship that this is all located in. And it's said to contain the knowledge of God, which is basically what we've already seen. Now, well, the other part I can talk about later, unless they say something about it. Like I said, I was working on trying to fight that boss so many times. It only took me like 5 minutes off screen to get to that point. I got really lucky. So, the other part that I may want to talk about is, I can't really say yet, because they haven't referred to that yet. We found unthinkable when we accessed its data. The large, unmanned, strategic weapon and its battalion of terminal interface weapons traveling from star system to star system, and a gargantuan mothership used to carry them. The creation of Malak, or angel. Of course, we've already gone over Malak, which means angel. God's army to reign over the vast universe with. A divine ark is basically the Eldridge, the ship itself, the Mahanon, the resting place of God. That's the idea here. These weapons were called Yabe. I'm not sure what that refers to. Give me a moment. I'm going to go check that. Okay, so this is a weird mistranslation from the short amount of research that I've done. The idea here is Yabe is, I guess, supposed to be close to Yahweh, which I think is the Jewish God, if I remember correctly. But yeah, this word was never in the original Japanese, I keep calling it a translation, it's not a translation, the original Japanese language version of the game. And in that version, there was no Yabe or Yahweh or anything like that, and I'm probably pronouncing both of those wrong. Tough. But yeah, in each individual time that this word will be brought up in this game, which I don't think it's all that many, it was always always originally Deus, that boss we just fought. That, according to this, was the interplanetary invasion weapon system. Yep, that's what they were looking for. That's their god, the thing that basically killed itself. According to the data, the giant rotting organism we defeated was in fact the nucleus of this system. On the verge of accessing the data for the objective called Zohar, those of us who have played, or well, I guess those of you, because I've played both, who have played Xenosaga but not Xenogears, will recognize that name. I saw that. I know who that is. Oh, crap, there's a whole shitload of them. This is a matter far too weighty for the likes of you. So close. Now, hopefully you had nothing equipped on Satan that you wanted, because he's no longer available for the upcoming fight. And I may have to go back and redo things because I do not have the right gear set up for this. Now, originally, this is supposed to be an unwinnable fight. Alright, sorry about that. I had issues there. Anyway, so, originally, this is supposed to be an unwinnable fight, and this enemy, it's Graf, they haven't said it, but it's Graf, and his gear, I think they called it the Napteli or something like that. Anyway, I'm supposed to have a different setup for this fight, and I don't have it. So I'm going to see what I can do. They healed me after the last fight, but I didn't have the right setup. So I may have to reload and try again. I have some, okay, they call them Alpha Weltall, yeah. So basically, he's super powerful, and we need to be able to not take any damage from him. Because I have my healing thing set up from the previous fight, I can't really do that. So I'm kind of in trouble here. We'll see if we can do it. It's supposed to be unwinnable, but you can actually win it, and you can actually win a very important, well, it's not an important item, it's a useful item. So I want to go with System ID here. I guess I do have the healing, so I could use that. What they've done in between the previous boss fight and this one is given you full HP and EP as well as fuel back, so that's nice. You are basically useless now because my original plan was for you to use Jesse Cannon the whole time. Considering that's no longer going to happen, I guess we'll go with X attacks that don't work. And you are going to want to go with Wild Smile to neutralize your evasion and accuracy big time, because that's the only way we're going to survive. But yeah, basically he can do like 4,000. Yeah, so this isn't going to work. I'm going to have to restart and attempt that again. So yeah, you need to have your equipment set up prior to that, which means no healing. Which is gonna suck. I'm gonna make this fight really, really difficult. Anyway, I will see you in a moment. Well, hell, This video is super long. I will start the next episode getting here at the appropriate point. Yeah, with the right gear. And not a dead Fae, because that's not going to help. Anyway, that's all for this one. Sorry it was all over the place. And I'll see you guys, hopefully with more organization, next time.